When people talk about arguments for God, they usually imagine blind faith or emotional belief. But for thousands of years, philosophers have argued for God using reason alone. Today, I want to explain what are widely considered the three strongest arguments for God: the contingency argument, the Kalam cosmological argument, and the moral argument. The first and most fundamental is the contingency argument. This argument starts with a simple observation. Things exist, but they don't have to exist. Everything we observe in the universe is contingent. People are born and die, stars form and collapse, and even the universe itself changes over time. Contingent things depend on something else for their existence. If everything in reality were contingent, then reality itself would have no ultimate explanation. A chain of dependent things cannot explain why the chain exists at all. No matter how long the chain is, it still needs something independent to hold it up. That leads to the conclusion that there must be a necessary being, something that exists by its own nature and does not depend on anything else. This necessary being is the foundation of all contingent reality. And this is what philosophers mean by God. The second argument is the Kalam cosmological argument, which focuses on the beginning of the universe. It's based on two key premises. First, whatever begins to exist has a cause. Second, the universe began to exist. Modern cosmology strongly supports the idea that the universe is not eternal. The Big Bang, the expansion of space, and the second law of thermodynamics all point to a finite beginning. If the universe began to exist, it must have a cause outside of itself. That cause must be beyond space and time, since space and time began with the universe. It must also be immaterial and powerful enough to bring all physical reality into existence. The Kalam doesn't just say the universe has a cause. It points toward a cause that fits the description of a transcendent creator. The third major argument is the moral argument. This argument starts with the fact that we experience objective moral values and duties. Some actions are truly wrong regardless of opinion, culture, or time. Torturing innocent people for fun, for example, is not just socially disliked, it is objectively wrong. If moral values were only the result of evolution, social agreement, or personal preference, then morality would be subjective. But most people live as if moral truths are real and binding. The moral argument says that objective moral values require a foundation beyond human minds. God provides a grounding for moral truth that is objective, unchanging, and authoritative. Without God, morality becomes a matter of opinion rather than truth. When you put these three arguments together, they form a powerful case. The contingency argument explains why anything exists at all. The Kalam explains why the universe began. And the moral argument explains why good and evil are real. These arguments don't rely on religious texts or blind faith. They rely on logic, philosophy, and our shared experience of reality. That's why, even after centuries of criticism, these three arguments remain central in the philosophical discussion about God. They don't force belief, but they show that belief in God is not irrational. It's a conclusion many thinkers have reached by following the evidence where it leads.